Right, welcome back, viewers. Another edition of Heads Up, and gee, it's only what about 6 or 7 sleeps until we get back to the first New Zealand meeting in what? Gee, 2 or 3. What is it? Go 3 months, 2 or 3 months must be.
Yeah,
About
it'll be
six
just
months.
under 3 months. You
Yeah,
obviously don't sleep much, Neil, because
right,
according
yeah.
to me, it's 8 sleeps, but you obviously go a few nights where you don't sleep at all.
No, that's right. Yeah, I starting those trials and everything. Yeah, like Tie Zone last week. I wish I'd spent more time studying that race and coming out with Tie Zone. It wasn't that a great race last week, Stradbroke.
Always is, isn't it? The competitive nature of a handicap race, and it was a tight finish, but well done to Ty Zone.
Yeah,
The pride of Central Queensland, isn't he? He's
yeah.
was from up there. But yeah, Victorum no good. But we did suggest that Dawn Passage and Kementari and Trekking were no chance, and none of them featured. So if you laid a few of those, you might have come out okay. But just ridden a bit upside down, Victorum, wasn't he?
Yeah, I couldn't understand what he was doing. Riding, jumped well. Maybe he was caught maybe 4 wide. He couldn't hold side on, but maybe he just wanted to get a posse. But you could see they were going too hard. And gee, one of the cardinal sins in racing, if you go too hard early, 99.9% of horses can't win a race. So he didn't win the race. He was there and just faded out. Really. So that was a good race. And the Quaddy Syndicate last week, we got the Quaddy, but we got back 600 and we spent 1,000. So that wasn't good. But all we want is one of those, or another one of those double figure prices in one of the legs, and we'll be in. So we're ticking along. We're down a wee bit, but still about 1, 2, 3 weeks to go. So hopefully we can strike a decent one now and then. And last week we discussed the bounce back factor, and it worked really well with the Warriors. It was an interesting theory you had, and that proved spot on.
Yeah, it was a pretty painless watch, wasn't it, really? Penrith, 13 and over. They were basically in control from the start. Warriors gifted them a few soft tries early on and
Mm.
managed to hold on to win 26-0. So we'll come and touch on the Warriors later on in the show, shall we, Neil? We'll hold that one back a bit.
Yes, viewers. Yeah, we'll keep that for a surprise. It'll be interesting. And let's have a look at a good race at Eagle Farm again tomorrow. A decent track, good 4. Bit of rain, bit a few showers forecast, but should be no worse than a soft 5. Now, Rose Hill's a heavy 9 and Moonee Valleys should be okay, but soft 5.
Yeah, so the race we're looking at is race 5, the Tats Cup, Group 3 over the 1.5-mile trip. And no surprise that our friend Mr. Waller has 5 to greet the judge. And all of his 5 are pretty much in the market. I think he's got the first 4 favourites. And you're going to tip one of those, but you're not going to tip the actual favourite another $1. You've got one of the stablemates to knock off another $1.
It was actually Savakul beat another $1 home here last start. And the way she found the line over 2,000 metres, and it was the fastest speed rated race all day. I think the step to 2.4 would be ideal for her. Back on 53 kgs. Drawn handy, Mark Duplessis on. I thought she was an excellent great chance. Another $1 would go forward in Cubis. I thought they could call it $5.50 or $5 on the New Zealand TAB was good value.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you there. 2,400, I guess it's first time up over that trip, and
yeah,
but it's pretty fit. Looking at its form lines, it's been racing.
She's a big
well.
mare too. Yeah, big mare, peaking right now, and I think she's the way to go in that race. Looking forward to that race.
Okay, so Savakul in the Tats Cup tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Have you got any quality bets lined up yet, or are you still working through those for tomorrow?
No, I've got about 6 horses. I've got down to the short list. So last week, we had a horse in the last week, I forget the name of it, was a quality bet. And you could see throughout the day at Randwick, anything drawn inside the first half of the field that was going to sort of get back behind midfield, virtually had no chance. And that's the way the betting was reflected during the day too, as the day went on. So we all know, and we've got Pukekohe coming up next Saturday, and we know there will be 10 races there, big fields. So as you know, you've got to have horses that can, that drawn wide, handle the ground, get out and finish on nicely. And the key thing at Pukekohe too is the number one thing I feel is having those experienced riders, Leith Innes, Opie Bosson, who just don't go too early. The
Yep.
last 100 metres there, they can change positions very quickly, can't they?
Pukekohe is quite an unusual track. Although they might have changed it, just thinking. Because it doesn't really have an outside rail, does it? Because of when the jumps races were there, they had those two jumps on the outside fence, and so you couldn't have a rail. So you couldn't go too wide, or else you'd run out of track to work with because it narrows nearer the line. But just thinking maybe they have brought in an outside rail now from memory. But
They could have, because remember that race fall? Who's the jockey?
Kelly Myers.
Yeah, Kelly Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got squeezed
Got
up.
Squeezed up, yeah. I think following that they have changed that. So ignore that last 30 seconds. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, the point remains though, Neil, the experienced jockeys and knowing when to move on with a long 500 plus metre straight. You don't want to be hitting the wall at the 100 and getting bombed, really, do you?
No. And I'm sure Lisa Allpress, Leith Innes, Opie Bosson, and Michael Coleman, they all know where the best parts of the track will be. Most of them, I know Lisa Allpress will track every meeting.
And
just
I
follow
hear
her where she goes early on, and you'll soon find the best part of the track.
I hear there might be another person walking the track there next Saturday as well.
Could be, yeah.
Neil Davis.
Yeah, and I'll be out there, and if I can get on there, I will. So
make sure you take your gumboots, mate.
I sure will, and a spade just in case I get stuck. Right, could be a bit. But the forecast looks okay for next week, so it'll be a soft day. I think at the ratings for the tracks at New Zealand now, so used to the Aussie ratings. We slow, we call it slow 8, heavy 9, heavy 10, don't we? Yeah.
Slow 8, slow 9, heavy 10, heavy 11. It'll be one of those four, I reckon.
It'll be interesting. It will be too, and big fields. It'll just be great to get back to New Zealand racing. Now on to a sports selection for tomorrow.
Okay, we will go with our friends. Well, it won't be tomorrow. It's going to be tonight, actually, 8 o'clock. Yeah. Your favourite team, the New Zealand Warriors, are playing the North Queensland Cowboys at Central Coast Stadium, where they beat St. George. So it's classed as a home game for the Warriors. I don't think the Cowboys are travelling that good this year. I think they've been very average.
Yep.
And I'm tipping the Warriors to bounce back and cover the 6.5 point start. So Warriors plus 6.5 in tonight's league game, $1.90. Yep. I think that's a pretty safe bet. I don't think they'll get blown out, unlike last week. And the Cowboys certainly aren't a quality side like the Panthers are. So, so we'll go with the Warriors to cover that 6.5 point start they've been given. Or stay within 7 points basically off the Cowboys or win. And it should set you up for a few bets on the remainder of the weekend.
Yeah. Are the crowds back there this week?
I don't think so. No.
The races, they have the owners, don't they? Then
yeah. I think I did read maybe there's a couple of hundred allowed, but certainly not full on. But certainly won't be as many as there will be at Eden Park on Sunday afternoon, Neil, with the Blues taking on the Hurricanes. And that'll be an interesting clash. Robbed a bit of its interest through the withdrawal of Geordie Barrett due to a shoulder injury, going up against Big Brother Bowden. But I actually think the Blues will win that game just quietly, as much as it pains me to say that, being a Hurricanes fan. But
why is that? So the $1.50 favourite, I thought the Hurricanes are generally a better team than the Blues. But why?
Yeah, well, the Blues beat them at Wellington just before lockdown. I think at home, big crowd in, Bowden Barrett playing.
Carter's he going to be playing, or just part of the game?
Carter? No, I don't think he'll be playing.
No.
He could be on the bench, but I doubt it. I'd say he's still a few weeks away. So no, it'll be good to see. And isn't it amazing though when you stop someone from, or people haven't had something of anything for a while, i.e. rugby. You know, this time last year we're saying there's too much rugby, it's boring, there's just too many options, it's, just game after game, we get sick of it. You go 3 months without it and you're going to get 35,000 people, weather permitting, I guess, to Eden Park for a Super Rugby game again, which is not even a final or anything like that. So we're a fickle race, the human race, aren't we?
I'm sure. No, you certainly appreciate it. That's why I'm looking forward to going to the races, because come across old mates and people you enjoy chatting to, and you do appreciate that a lot more, don't you?
Absolutely. It does. I have to say, I think there is some merit, both, I guess, mainly for the people involved, the trainers, the stable hands, the stable staff. I think there's some merit to have a month off racing in the winter, just to close racing down. That might mean you can close a stable for a couple of weeks. Horses will be getting fit, but just to give people that break. It's pretty much a monotonous 52-week of the year type of operation. It's hard to sort of get that recharge of the battery. So I don't know if it'll happen, but it wouldn't be the worst thing that could happen. And I guess we'll see that with everyone, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready to go next Saturday at Pukekohe after having a few months out of action.
Now, last week, we mentioned the black booking service on the website. So I emailed Glenn.Saville and also the TAB customer services, the help desk, and I got a reply from, surprise, from the help desk or TAB customer services thing.
I'm sure Mr. Saville will be still contemplating your email.
Yeah, the reply was, thanks for your email. I've spoken to our tech team who look after the favourites, which is the black bookers. At that stage, they can only be sent out on the day after 9 a.m. He has said they want to change this earlier, but at the moment, there's not much happening. It won't be for a while. He could not give me an estimated time of arrival for this. Regards, Peter. TAB services. So it's a thing that would take 10 seconds to change a setting to send an email out that would generate turnover for nothing. You'd think a brainstorming session with management would say, what can we do for a little cost to boost turnover? That would have to be top of your priorities, surely. That's what I replied with anyway.
Well, there you go. I won't make any comment. I won't make any comment at all. On to brighter things, Neil.
Yep.
We talked about the Stradbroke last week, and we had a quiz question relating to the great New Zealand horse that won the prestigious race 3 times in the 1990s. And of course, the answer we were looking for was a Rough Habit.
Yep.
Great horse, really. And that race, I'd still say, would be in the top 2 or 3 races in my lifetime in terms of the way he finished that race under top weight. And we had 7 people.
7 people?
Identify Rough Habit as the horse we're after.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick a number between 1 and 7.
Let's find the page first. Okay.
I'll go the Gold Rug, number 5.
5. Gary. I'm not a subscriber. He's must be an owner, not another, or just a free user. He's still on the home page. So well done, Gary. We'll put a $20 multi on for you for the weekend or for tomorrow. We're not even chucking the Warriors 6 + 6.5. To watch tonight. So, okay, we'll post that bet. And the new question will be. Tricky one.
Wow, we'll make it easy. Multi-choice. You got A, B, or C. Pyra. You remember that race course, Neil? It was great for steeplechasers with the double hill thing. You go over the first hill, down in a dip, back up the second one. I don't think they've raced there now for. Oh, gee, what do you reckon? I reckon 8 years, be something like that.
Close to 10, I'd say. 8 years.
Yeah, might be 10. What horse never raced at Pyra out of these 3? They were reasonably handy horses. A, Bone Crusher. B, Horlicks. C, Sunline. Which one of those 3 never raced at Pyra? If you want to hazard a guess or you know the answer, text or email your answer in to Neil, and you could be, like Gary, winning the multi next week.
Yeah. 027 352 6402 or FormPro at formpro.co.nz by, let's make it Tuesday night. You can get into that for next week. Race meeting back too. In talking about first New Zealand race meeting back, I see they've brought in another meeting.
Well,
Talk of another meeting coming on. Maybe.
I don't know. Where do you get your racing news from, Neil? Do you get it from the Herald? Like what? The Herald came out on Wednesday telling us that the bidding terminals were going to be back on course.
Yeah, that's old news, isn't it?
Didn't we tell them that on Friday?
Yeah, 4 days
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, if you want your breaking news, you come to Heads
Yeah.
Up. We'll probably jinx ourselves now. I'll say there's a strong possibility. Tried to get it confirmed. I'll just check. I don't think I have got it confirmed yet. A strong possibility that the second race meeting in New Zealand will be at Wanganui on Thursday, the 25th of June. Should know that should be announced in the next day or so, I'm predicting, based on the number of horses ready to go for the CD, and I imagine a few from the north will come down for that. So, yeah, it's positive signs, isn't it? With 293 trialling at Te Rapa on Tuesday, big jump outs at Levin, and I think 90 or 100 at the Waverley jumping trials yesterday. So, lots of horses still out there wanting to put their foot in the till for their owners.
When I see NZTR rightly drop that rule about only one or maximum of one trial per horse, obviously all the numbers are there, so it just seems a waste of time, that. So well done. And looking at those Te Rapa trials the other day, a lot of horses have been ridden out. So obviously they needed the run, but one horse that's very good horse on a good track or a heavy 11 track, one on both, is Obsessive. Very tough horse, one at New Plymouth on a heavy 11, I think it was, and one at Te Rapa on a good 4. And he was travelling well a long way out and came out wide on the track and won really well. So he's all set to go. And, anything that caught your eye at those trials?
I thought a horse that hasn't yet run called Tavi Rock looked like a horse that might have a bit of upside to it. When you're watching trials, Neil, what are you kind of looking for? Are you looking for horses, look at that horse that won by 6 lengths, or you're looking for ones that are sort of just tucked in behind and just finding the line under their own steam, might only run 3rd, 4th or 5th?
Well, first of all, you look at the horse, right? And you see maybe look at its previous trial or its last campaign. And if it had a quiet trial and one fresh up, you're looking for a similar kind of run, which we'll usually have in this campaign. So that's one thing I'll look for. And you look at the trainer. If the trainer, like Andrew Fordsman, Murray Baker, they really give their horses a hard hit out. They'll often just be at the back, run on nicely, or be handy and not be pushed out. So they get their horses really fit. I reckon they get their horses the fittest in the country, those guys, so they'll be quite early on. But you're right, you're looking for horses that maybe finish on the slower ground, like a Te Rapa later on. There's 1 or 2 horses there I've taken note of that finish on nicely without being pushed. And Chris Waller's a great one for it, isn't he, to put a horse in a trial, just get going late. And also watch past the post. You'd often see a horse have maybe a certain dummy Myers stable get roused up near the line and run on strongly past the line. So those are just some of the things. Anything else you look for at all, or?
No, I think you've summed it up pretty much there. I think also maybe the other thing is check to see who's riding the horse. If there's 2 horses that you both like out of the trial, they both look like they're going to the line under their own steam and trialled up nice. One's ridden by, say, Opie Bossum. One's ridden by a lightweight jockey, say Lisa Allpress, as an example.
Yeah.
You'd probably say, well, Opie's one carried potentially 7, 8, 9 kilos more.
Yeah.
So, that's probably the other thing that you might want to take into consideration from time to time.
Yeah, lots and lots of things. And I think David Walsh mentioned that too, about weights and trials. No one was weighed out, so keep an eye on those lightweight riders. I see Cosi Ozano has been riding a few trial horses down in Rangiora the other day, so he'll be getting a little plum rides, so look out for him.
He'll be keen to be back. Just back to Te Rapa, actually, give them a plug. A new initiative the club have commenced. Te Rapa TV, there's a few interviews, including one with your good friend David Green from a while ago. Butch Castles did an interview there, and then also did a number of interviews during the trials day. So just see if I can bring that up. If you just Google Te Rapa TV, and it's all up on their website there with, you've got George, you've got David Green, you've got Cameron George, Rogie, Jamie Richards, Leith, Tony Pike, Danielle, interviews there. So, yeah, there's some good content there. Good to see clubs and other people filling the void that has been left by, say, No Radio Trackside in particular, with those interviews, and good to see people taking the initiative there.
Yeah, I was watching Bernard Saundry's interview, talk on racing side the other day, and his saying was, "Get your backside on to trackside."
Trackside.
Well, it's a good idea, good saying, and I think trainers and owners and jockeys all realise that stake money is all dependent on turnover, and they're all pretty forthcoming with their comments about their horses, which is great to see. They're going to get owners and trainers saying, setting it up for a punt, and that's going to happen. And harness, you can see it already, horses being set up for a punt, and it's coming off. Some aren't coming off, but be aware of that. Most don't come off, but some do come off.
What's the old saying, Neil? It's only a rort if you're not in on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Okay, so the Warriors tonight. Looking forward to that game. And anything else? Any other sports starting up this week?
Well, one sport that's recommenced after a bit of a break, Neil, you should know. Golf.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The PGA Tour's back.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's interesting because the states have got, just past 2 million cases or something stupid. So
crazy, isn't it?
Well, it's good to see they've got the golf is great to watch, isn't it? I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's just, the AFL started last night, actually, in a thrilling 36-all draw between Collingwood and Richmond. So that was back. So the AFL's on. Geelong will beat Hawthorn tonight. There you go. There's another sports tip for you. Add that into any multis, but Geelong will be too strong for Hawthorn down at their home stadium, where they don't normally play Hawthorn, because they normally play that at MCG, but there's no advantage without any crowds there. So, get on Geelong to beat Hawthorn tonight in the AFL. The rugby, the league, the AFL's back. Basketball, NZ basketball starting up. We're slowly returning to normal, aren't we?
Yeah. So if the Warriors win tonight, by 10 points, will you be buying your ticket for the bandwagon?
What?
The Warriors bandwagon, if they win?
Just stay neutral, Neil, and back them when you think they're value, and back against them when you think they're well unders, like they were last week against Penrith.
Yeah, with your head, not your heart, own sports.
Well, it's hard to sometimes.
Yes.
But, we won't be jumping on there. But no, it's quite scary, really, how quickly we have forgotten about lockdown and all those things. And life just seems to be sort of getting back to normal. We can go out and socialise and do all those things.
That's going to be great. Even like with the Cracker Millions, that's still settled to be that hasn't been put back at all. You haven't heard any talk?
No. Well, the draft calendar submissions close on Monday.
Yeah.
I would expect probably within 2 weeks we'll have the final dates for next season. But basically, with the Guineas returning to Riccarton, it's pretty much, I'd say, in terms of the big races and the big meetings, everything's pretty much as per previous years. So
it's going to be interesting, the Guineas there, the 1,000 and 2,000 Guineas there, with horses, with the stake money being down. I presume the stake money will be down for those races.
half, they reckon.
Huh? Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting because we want the best 3-year-olds, don't we? Fillies and colts, geldings on show for
Will
those two
Northern
races, don't we?
Hawkers travel all the way down there? That was the argument for it to move up to Ellerslie and Tirapa. I think something like 81% of the horses over the last 6 years have been Northern trained horses in those two races.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Without those, they wouldn't have a decent Group 1 race. So
Yeah.
they'll be happy to go down. But, if you've got a horse that's half decent, you'd be tempted to go to Australia, wouldn't you?
Well, I think the club I think the club have already announced they're going to pay some travel subsidies, so softens the blow a bit. But yeah, it was a tricky decision to have to make. But yep, they've stuck with the status quo for now. So
well, hopefully, the following year the stakes get back up again, and it may be okay. But
I think
here we go.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of expectation on the people of the South Island and Christchurch in particular to get along and support those days in order to justify keeping those races. And the other thing too, you think about it, I know chances are we'll have a Trans-Tasman bubble by then, but if you didn't, all those Kiwis that love going over to the Spring Carnival in Melbourne, if they can't get their fix in Australia, they might go, well, let's have a week down in Christchurch.
That's right, yeah.
So, hey,
bounce back.
Interesting how it's all going to play out.
Yeah. Okay, well, nothing else. So everyone have a great weekend. I will have a crack at the Moonee Valley Quaddie at this stage, I think. Maybe have a good look at the Eagle Farm one too, because that looks pretty open as well. So, okay, Goat. So next week.
Go the Warriors. Go the mighty Vodafone Warriors.
yeah. Well, at least 7 points.
No, they can lose.
Oh, they can lose. Panthers, who are they playing?
Cowboys.
They can win by 6 points.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Good game. 8 o'clock, isn't it? So.
Yep.
Really good game. What's the weather forecast? Check that out. Is that some water, I reckon?
Gosford weather.
Well, you're looking up that. The fact that those new rule changes, the big scoring games haven't really come into play, have they? They're sort of been.
Yeah, in terms of a high scoring, yeah.
Haven't been good defence.
Bit showery at Gosford.
I'll take that. Go the Warriors. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll catch you next week.